All right, so we're going to be going over all of the awesome marketing options you have available to you within Command. So right now I am at agent.kw.com and I'm going to go ahead and get signed in, and I'll give you a moment to do the same. There we go. All right, this brings us to our Command dashboard. And before we jump in and create any marketing designs or pieces today, we need to go into our settings. So I'm going to click on Scott's name up at the top right, and then click Settings. From here, I'm going to go over to the left and click Connect Settings. And let's first take a look at our marketing profile. All right, so it's really important to make sure that your marketing profile is up to date before you create anything in Command. A lot of places in Command are going to pull your personal and contact information from this location. So you'll see at the top, there's this toggle that says, use my information to brand my agent site. You'll want to make sure that this is to the right and green. If you are ever taking a look at your website and you notice that it's not personalized and doesn't have any of your information or your photo on there, try coming to the marketing profile and turning this on, and it should syndicate all of this information over. So I'm just going to quickly point out a few things in the marketing profile. So up at the top, it does have some spots for your headshot and a logo. These do need to be a square. It says 360 by 360, but just a full square is totally fine. If you upload anything other than a perfect square, it will be sort of warped. Ooh, I hope you guys can hear me. Can anyone else hear me? Please say yes. Or no, if you can't. Okay. Okay, thank you guys. I was a little worried for a second. And for you that you don't have sound, I am not quite sure why you don't have sound. I'm so sorry about that. And I guess he can't hear me anyway. Cool, thank you guys. All right, so some contact details. Anything with this red star is required. So we need your first name and last name. You can add in your agent license number, team name, your job title and credentials, and then your bio. You'll need to add in a mobile phone number and an office phone number, as well as an email address. You can add in a fax and your website address here. Market center information is required. We ask for your market center name, phone number, and address. You can also add in a market center logo here and your license, the market center license number in this space. Some spots for compliance. This will syndicate out to your website and any landing pages you create. We have this legal footer here. We always add this in for you if you've done our setup. And then if you're from an office that requires additional legal footer links or documents, you can add those in here. We can assist with this as well. Down at the bottom, we have some spaces for social media, tracking if you'd like to add in Facebook Pixel or Google Analytics for your website, and then your branded app link. So if you've done our questionnaire, we will go through and set this up for you. But you can always come to this place to make sure that everything is up to date, or if you have any changes, you can change that here. I'm just going to click Save, and that will update right away. All right, the other thing we want to check out in settings is our application. So I'm going to go up to Command Settings. And click on that, and I'm going to select this first option here for applications. So this is a page that shows you all of the different apps that you can connect or that are connected to your Command account. Connected applications are at the top, and I'm just going to point out the ones that are important for today's class. So you can see our Facebook page is connected here. You'll see there are actually two connections for Facebook, one for post scheduling and one for running ads. So we have ours set up for post scheduling. If we scroll down, some other items or apps that you might want to connect in this marketing section, you'll see Facebook again. So if you would like to run ads through Command, and I'll be showing you how to do that today, you will want to make sure that these marketing apps are connected. So you can see our Facebook app is connected here, as well as Twitter and Google AdWords. If you need to connect any one of these apps, all you would need to do is click Connect Account to the right. And it basically just has you sign in. And once you enter your username and password for whatever app you're connecting and hit Authorize, it will be linked to Command. Now down toward the bottom, there is this email services section. So this is really important if you're going to be sending out any email campaigns or smart plans through Command. Previously, we only had the option to send out these emails through MailChimp, but now we can use what's called a Command email. So you do still have that choice. I think the Command email is the preferred option. You get to send more emails. You can send 5,000 free emails a month. And then you can actually send out those smart plan emails or Command emails to people in your Command database. Previously, you had to import your database also over into MailChimp to send out any campaigns through Command, and now you can actually send it from with your Command email to your database directly. This is also going to act as your reply to email for anything that you send out. So I'm just going to click Manage here. So if you send out anything through Command, this is basically asking where you want those replies to go to. So you can add in your sender name here. This would just be your name or your team name, whatever you'd prefer to use, and then the reply to email. So this is basically where you want those responses to go to. We went ahead and chose our KW email, but you can choose any one of these options or add in a custom email there. And it will also show you your monthly account usage. So you get 5,000 emails a month through your Command email. You can upgrade that if you'd like. And I'm just going to exit out of here. That looks good to go. Let me see if I can take a quick peek at these questions. So for Instagram, great question. So your Instagram is linked through Facebook. You can't, so you'll see that there are those two spots for Facebook. This is for post scheduling, so scheduling out social media posts. There's not a way to do that through Command for Instagram, but as long as your Facebook is connected here for the ads, you can run Instagram ads through Command. So you'll see when we go in to actually run a Facebook ad today, we will have the option to select Instagram. All right, so this all looks good to go. Let's jump into some actual marketing. So I'm going to go over to the left. You can see this menu of the different Command widgets. If you actually click on this KW up at the top left, it expands this menu and you can see the names of the different sections in Command. I'm going to click on Designs to start today. When you click on Designs, this brings you into My Designs template, or My Design Templates. This is basically a library of any pieces you have created previously. So all of your saved work is here. You can sort through these by clicking Email, Landing Page, Social, Print. Your agent site pages are also edited through here, and then any videos. If you wanted to create a new piece, all you would need to do is go down to the bottom and click on this plus sign. And today we're going to start with a social piece. So I'm going to click Social, And then you'll see at the bottom, we have the option to import photos and text from a listing. I'm going to go ahead and select that. That makes it really easy to create a piece for one of my listings. And I will click Next. This brings up a KWLS search page. You can search by property address or MLS number. You can also choose between all listings and only my listings. Scott doesn't have any listings, so nothing would appear here. If I change this to all listings, I can go ahead and search through the entire KWLS. So I'm going to do that and search for my listing here. All right, I found my listing and I'm going to select that. So now what that's going to do is it's going to import all of the photos and property information from KWLS into my designs, making it really easy for me to revise any pieces. All right. So in here, we're looking at the social pieces right now. If you wanted to see print, you would have to go back to that initial page in designs and choose print. But over here on the left, you can see the different social pieces that are available. Right now it's showing us some pieces for your app. If we go into listings, you can see all of these options here. If we go into for sale, you can see it breaks it down by social media platform. So these are pieces for Facebook, Instagram. It also shows you the size when you highlight or put your mouse on top of the different menu options, Instagram stories, LinkedIn, and Twitter. So you can see that they're all different sizes. These will just save as a JPEG file, so they are pretty interchangeable. Same thing with the print pieces. So the great thing about these pieces through command is they're really versatile. So you can use a Facebook piece. You can post it on Facebook. You can also post it on Instagram if you'd like. You can put it in an email. You can basically use them interchangeably. Same thing with those print pieces. You can choose to download your saved template as a PDF and print it. You can also save it as a JPEG and post it on your Facebook page. So I really like that about this system. So you can see that there are different pieces for listings, buyers. And under lead gen, you can see some holiday pieces. These are really fun. Under business basics, there's actually a couple email signature templates here and then social branding. So if you need covers for your Twitter, LinkedIn, or Facebook, you have access to those here. So you can spend some time exploring the different templates. There's lots of good stuff in here. I'm just going to go into listings today and let's create a for sale piece. And I'm going to just select this first option here and I will click use. All right, this is going to bring us into the social piece. So now this is going to be really easy to edit since we chose our listing from KWLS before coming into the templates. So you can see the piece over here. Editing is really simple. It's basically just clicking and changing the different elements, but this is completely customizable. So I can move things around. I can change the fonts, change the colors, completely customize this piece. So over here on the left, you can see a menu of the different items that we can change. We have images. If you needed to, you can upload images from your computer. There are some company images in here as well, so some great stock images that you can use. So you can see there are different homes, really beautiful free stock images. There's also the library, which once we jump out of this piece, I'll show you how to manage your library. You can actually import photos, logos, and even text that you might be using frequently to make it really easy to update these pieces. You can add text. There are different icons available to you in here. So this is kind of like fun clip art that you can use. Logos. You can import your own logos or you have access to some company logos here. You can see there are some generic KWs in here as well. and then KWLS. So this is really important if you are creating a piece for a listing. So we chose our listing from that first page we were on. If you don't do that, that's totally fine. You can actually come back in here to this KWLS section and search for a different listing. Oh, couple questions. Let's see what's going on. Yep. So it brings over everything. So I'm just going to start editing this piece so you can see this in action because it's really awesome. So let's say I want to change out this photo here. All I would need to do is click on the photo, and I'm going to go over to this KWLS section, and I'm in Photos. And you can see there are a few different options, and I'm going to click this option here for Replace Image. If I were to click this plus sign, it's basically just going to plop this image on top of this, which is fine, but then I would manually have to resize it, move it around, crop it, what have you. So to replace this image, I'll click on the image directly, go over to the left to the image I'd like to use, and I just need to click Replace Image. And when I do that, it inserts my photo into this space perfectly. I can edit this further. So say if it crops it kind of funny and you want to rearrange it, what you can do is you can actually click on the image again, and up above this reposition button will appear. And when I click on that, I can actually adjust the cropping of this image and make it fit a little bit better. All right, same sort of thing when we want to edit the property details. So I have the address up here at the top. I'm going to go ahead and click on that. Of course, I can manually just double click in this box and type in and change out the information. I can change the fonts. You can actually import your own fonts if you're using specific fonts for your branding, which is really great. And then of course I can change things like the size, the color, make it bold, italicized, what have you. But I'm going to go over to the left and I'm going to click on Listing Details. So this is bringing over all of the property information from KWLS. And if I scroll down, I can find the section that says Property Address. So same sort of thing as before, I'm going to click on the text over here, make sure that's selected. And then when I come over into Listing Details in KWLS, I'll go to my property address and hit Replace. And you can see it automatically plugs that in for me. So this won't work perfectly every time based on the formatting of the piece. So you can see it actually doesn't add in the property, the state, so I'll just add that in manually. I can resize this if I want to. Maybe I'll just make this a little bigger. And there we go. Another cool thing about this, you can see when you start to move things around, these, let me grab the box itself. You can see these grid lines pop up and things sort of snap into place. This makes it really easy to make sure everything on your piece is lined up properly and looks good. So like I said, this won't work perfectly every time. So you can see these property details are all in one box. If I were to come over here and say, oh, I want to change out the price, if I were to hit Replace Image or Replace Text, it's going to replace everything in this box with just this section. So for this, I'm going to go ahead and hit this back button up at the top left, and I'll manually change this out. So I'm just going to double click in this box. And change out these items. And you can see that kind of, it didn't fit perfectly. So I can actually adjust the size of this box, and now it fits great. Same sort of thing with the logo. I can click on the logo down here at the bottom, maybe. Oh, there we go. All right. I was able to select this logo here. I can go into the logos section and I can choose to use one of these KW logos provided by the company, or if I have logos in my library, which I'll show you how to update I can choose one of those. And same sort of thing, I'll click replace. And then you may have to adjust. I'll just bump this up a little bit. And that looks good to go. All right, so I've edited my piece. You'll notice with these social pieces, there's kind of minimal information. For the social pieces, you do want to keep it kind of brief. You won't put the property description or anything on here because you're going to be posting this on your Facebook page. So we'll put more information in the body of the post, which we'll do later today. But this looks good to go. This is saving as we work. If you click on File at the top, we have Use Autosave on, which is really great, helps you not to lose your work. But I do want to change the title of this. So you can see right here toward the top, it says 07FS FB, so number 7 for sale Facebook. I'm going to go ahead and change the title of this. So I'll say 3215 Rift Facebook. And that'll automatically save for me, or I can just hit enter and it will update the name of this piece. So now what we can do, this is actually going to be saved in our design library. And when we go in to create a social piece from command, we'll actually be able to select this piece directly from our library, which makes it really easy. But you can also save this if you'd like. If you go over here to this little down arrow button, if you highlight this, it expands and says download. And we have the option to save this as a JPEG, which is what you'd want to do if you want to post on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or put it in the body of an email. PNG, same sort of thing, but this is mostly for image files that have transparent backgrounds. Or you can save this as a PDF. So if this was a print piece, like a flyer I wanted to actually print, I would choose to save this as a PDF. I'll just save this as a JPEG, download the file, and I'll show you what that looks like. All right, and there's my beautiful Facebook piece that we just created. So you can see it's really simple, really quickly you can create these beautiful pieces for your marketing. I'm going to go ahead and click done. And that will bring us back to the design templates. So before we switch gears and go into campaigns and I show you how you can actually post this, I do want to point out a few things in the print library as well. So I'm going to click on the plus sign down at the bottom right again. Choose print. And then next. All right, so just a couple things I want to point out in here. So we're back in the templates, and I do want to point out the library really quick. So you'll see over on the right, it says library. We'll go ahead and click on that. So this is where you would want to store any text, images, logos, or information for your branding. So it makes it easy to add those things into your pieces you create. So under details, these are spots for your contact information. I'll just take this out so you can actually see like what it's storing. So you can see it says your name, company name, email. You can add in those items here. This does save as you work. Under text, if you have a tagline, slogan, or vision that you're going to be putting on your marketing pieces, you can actually add those in here and very easily add them onto your piece from your library. Same thing with images. This is a great place to add in your headshot or maybe some stock images that you want to use. Ooh, what's going on? There we go. You can see we have our images here. You can only have 8 images stored in the library at a time, so just keep that in mind. Logos, if you have a specific logo for your office or your team, you'll want to add those in here. And then under brand kit, this is really cool. If you have your own specific colors you use for your branding or fonts that you frequently use, you can actually upload those here. All right, we're in templates. If you click on My Designs, this will bring you back into that design library as well. But the main thing I want to point out is if you want a blank template, if you're not seeing exactly what you need and you just want a blank slate, this is where you can choose a blank template here. It'll allow you to choose a pre-made size, or you can choose a custom size for whatever piece you're trying to create. You can also import PDF files to Command, which is really cool. So sort of like Adobe Editor, if you have a PDF file that you'd like to edit, you can actually import that into Command and it makes the elements of the PDF editable. It's really cool. I'm going to click Templates again at the top left, and I just want to point out a few things in here. There are some app pieces, some app postcards that are available. Under listings, there are actually a couple listing presentations. These are really beautiful. I highly recommend checking these out if you need a listing presentation. And we do have a shorter video on our YouTube page going over how to create a listing presentation. Under for sale, we have different door hangers, flyers, postcards, and then some brochures, some bifolds and trifolds. Under buyer, we have some neighborhood snap pieces. These are great for door knocking. And then buyer presentation, similar to that listing presentation. And then there are actually under business basics, some business card templates, and then some letterhead. So just again, some really beautiful pieces that you have access to. And we're not going to go over a print piece today. It's basically the same process as before, but if you are printing that, you would want to download as a PDF, and it'll give you a beautiful, high quality PDF that you can print. So we're going to totally switch gears now and get out of design. So I'm just going to click on this X up at the top right. And now let's go into our campaign section. So over here on the left in our widget menu, I'm going to click on the option that looks like a megaphone. All right, so this brings us to our campaigns dashboard. And in campaigns, we basically say that there are two different types of campaigns that you can run, both paid and free. And I'm going to point out both of those to you today. So let's go ahead and start with free. We love free. We'll check out social posts. So in Command, you actually have the option to schedule out your social media posts. This is similar to Hootsuite if you've used that in the past. You can add in your own custom posts. They also have some suggested quick posts over here that you can use. But let's go in and actually create a new social post. So if you want to create any one of these campaigns in Command, you would need to click Create a New Campaign up at the top. And then I'm going to choose Social Post. All right, so basically what we're going to do is we're going to answer these questions over here on the left to build our social post on the right. So we just created that Facebook piece. I'm going to skip this text section for now and go down to the photo section or designs. So we have the option to upload a photo, upload a video, add a link, but I actually want to choose that design we just created. So under upload photo, we're going to make sure that choose from designs is selected. And then I'm going to click Browse Design Library. This brings us into our design library. I can choose any one of these templates here, or I can click Create a New Template if I haven't done that previously. I'll just go ahead and select this template we just created. And that's going to pull that over into my piece that I want to post. It is going to ask us to crop this. It shows up as a square first, but you can see that doesn't really work. So I'm going to change this to wide. And that fits perfectly. If you choose free, you're able to manually drag and drop and make sure that your image is cropped properly. but I changed this to wide. You can see it fits perfectly in there, and I will click crop image. All right, and you can see it's starting to build our post over here on the right. So in text, this is where you would want to add more information about the listing. So we have 2,200 characters that we can use here. I'll just say, let's say I had an open house. So I'll say open or just listed open this Saturday from 1 to 4 p.m. And then I'm going to go ahead and enter my property description and maybe a little blurb, contact today for more information. That's typically what we add in when we do social posts for agents about their listings. So that looks good. You can see it's starting to build my post over here on the right. You can choose to add in your DBA logo. Our piece already has our logo on it, so we don't really have to worry about that, but you could, basically if you go through this option, it'll just plop a logo on top of this image on either the bottom left or right. And then it's asking when we would like to post. So we can either schedule this for the future or publish immediately. They do say the best days to post are Monday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings. I can select the date and time by clicking on this section that says publishing time. Let's say I want this to go out Saturday at 11 a.m. And there's no save button here. You just need to click out of this box and that will update. And then you do want to make sure that your page is selected. So this is a little tricky if you have more than one business page associated with your command account. So unfortunately, if you have more than one page, we are seeing some issues with that at the moment. You can see Scott's account is connected, but since we manage multiple business pages, this unfortunately is not going to allow me to post this. But I believe if you have one Facebook account with just one business page associated to it, you should be able to follow through and post this. So you'll see my post is all good to go. I can actually preview it over here and see what it's going to look like on my Facebook. But when I go to save this as a draft, it's going to give me an error message. So it says page identifier is required. That is just an error that's going on right now. Like I said, if you are an agent who just has one business page associated with your Facebook account, I believe this should properly work for you, but at the moment it's not allowing you to choose which specific page you would like to post to. So just keep that in mind, but I did want to show you what this process looks like for posting. I don't think you need to do that. It could just be pulling, great question. Whoa, what just happened? Okay, it could just be pulling over from the last time you synced it, but it's not going to post with that old photo. You should be fine. If you want to, you can go back into your settings and resync it, but I don't think that should affect anything. All right, so unfortunately, I can't save this, so I'm just gonna go back to social posts. And like I said, that is just a glitch right now, but I'm gonna go back to social posts. But you would be able to go ahead and schedule out all your posts for the week. We like to say set it and forget it. You can work on your social posts maybe on a Sunday, schedule everything out for the week, and then you'd be able to see a calendar of those posts here. And once those are scheduled and going out, you'll be able to see how many people liked your post, commented on it, and shared it. All right, let's also check out the paid ads. So I'm going to click on paid ads. So this is if you want to run a Facebook campaign, an Instagram campaign, or Google AdWords. You will want to make sure that your payment information is set up ahead of time. If you're going to do any paid features through command, if you click on this payments button up here, Basically just have some spots for you to add in your credit card information, and then you can actually see the metrics of what you've spent. But let's click on paid ads one more time. This is going to give us an overview of any ads we currently have set up. You can see we have a few in draft status here. You can see a preview, the status they're in, how many days they're running, how many clicks they've received, how much you've spent, and what your goal was. Once an ad is live, you are not able to edit it, so just keep that in mind. You would be able to pause it and then create a new campaign with those changes, but once an ad is live, even if it hasn't gone out yet, once it is in that active live status, you aren't able to edit it. But you can click on this ... over here to the far right for further options. If it's still in draft status, you can edit the campaign. You can also duplicate it or archive. So let's go ahead and create a new paid campaign. I'm going to click Create a New Campaign up at the top. And we will choose Social Ad. All right, under campaign name, I'm going to advertise a listing today. So I'm going to call my campaign name the address of the listing. My goal is to advertise the listing, and then at the very bottom it asks where my campaign will run. So you can see my Facebook is linked in that applications section in my settings, so it is pulling over Instagram as well. Or I can choose Twitter. I'm going to select Facebook and then set up campaign. All right, it does bring up that KWLS search page again. I can search by property address, MLS number, or listing agent. And if you're having trouble finding your listing or the listing, right now it's showing only my listings, so I need to change this to all. And that'll give me access to the full KWLS. I'll go ahead and search for my listing again and select. And this is going to bring over some information for me, so it makes it easier to build my ad. So you can see it already plugged in a lot of information over here. And you can see a preview of what this is going to look like on both the web and mobile. Again, we basically just need to go through these items on the left and make sure each section has this green check mark. So name and goal, we already chose that. So that is completed here. We've selected our listing, and now let's configure the ad text. All right, you can see it pulled over some information from our KWLS. So we do have limited text for the ads. You want to keep it short and sweet. So for the main copy, I would probably just put in the first couple sentences from your property description. And obviously revise that in whatever way to make it fit in the best way. So you can see my main copy is being inserted into the ad up above the image. Headline, I could say, amazing new listing in Murfreesboro. And then description. So they do have some suggested descriptions here. You can say, it says try this, you could be coming home to this. If I hit this shuffle button, they have a couple more. Schedule a private tour with me today. View photos and videos of this home. And of course you can write in your own description. But if I want to use one of theirs, I can just click use suggestion and it will plug in that little blurb for me. So that looks good. I have all of this filled out. I'm going to click Save Ad Text. You can see these first three sections have that green check mark. Now let's configure the ad. So I'm going to click configure next to Facebook ad. All right, so now this is going to give me the option of which page I'd like to run this from. So my Facebook account is linked here. And for Scott, he has multiple pages linked to his Facebook account. So I'll select which page this is running from. And then our destination. All right, so we have a few options here for destination and targeting. So Command recommends that you use a Facebook lead generation form. And it's going to ask me to log in. But basically, when you run an ad, you want to be able to capture the lead's information. So if you use a Facebook lead generation form, that is basically saying Facebook is going to create a form for you when somebody clicks on this ad, and they will be prompted to enter in their contact information. So that's what they recommend, and then that will go into both your Facebook leads and your Command contacts. It'll pull over those people as a new contact or as a new lead in Command. That's what they recommend. Or if you prefer, you can also use your own site or a different landing page. So if you have your own site that has a contact or lead capture form that you want to use, you can select this option here. I'm going to do that for today because this is prompting me for a login. But this is what they recommend, but it's totally your choice. But you can see I'm selecting use a site or landing page, and it says button for call to action label. So we're changing out this button here on the right that says learn more. We have the option for learn more, sign up, contact us, or apply now. And then the destination URL. So if you are choosing this option of where you would like this to feed to, this is the link. So whatever landing page or web address you would like to link this ad to if somebody clicks on it. So I'm going to link it to this agent's website. And if I were doing this, I would want to make sure I had a lead capture form on my website. So just keep that in mind. But that looks good to go. And again, it's telling you if you use a landing page not associated with Keller Williams, the leads are not going to be pulled over into Command. You would have to manually add them in. So just keep that in mind. And then ad targeting. So again, Command recommends that you use this sort of targeting based on location. So since this listing is in Murfreesboro, this is targeting people within 20 miles of Murfreesboro. But you can also use custom settings. You can target a custom audience, or you can target your database. So for custom audience, this would be based on location. So that was what they were recommending, 20 miles within Murfreesboro, but you can expand or make this smaller. Or if you wanted to target your database, that is an option as well. So to target your database, you would have to choose an audience. So there's an option here for create new audience. And you would have to add in the audience here. So there are a lot of factors at play. I'll just say that when you're wanting to target your audience. So again, we think the best option would be that sort of general targeting based on location, depending on what you're trying to advertise. But if you wanted to advertise to your audience or to your database, it's only going to advertise to contacts who have their Facebook information saved within their contacts. So when you're adding a contact to Command, you have the option to add in a link to their Facebook page. So either that is required, or the email address you have on file for them would have to be the one associated with their Facebook page. And to use this feature to target your database, you have to have at least 100 people with those options. So 100 people who are somehow linked to Command or to Facebook. They either have their Facebook profile saved in their contact info or their email is associated with their Facebook page. So 100 of those. If you have that, you can also target by tags or by neighborhood. So this would be tags that you have set up in your database or by neighborhood. So these contacts would have to have those neighborhoods saved. So if I had 100 people in my database who had perhaps the neighborhood Murfreesboro saved in their information, as well as those required Facebook information items, I could target this ad to them. But as you can see, it's a little complicated, it's hyper specific, so that won't always work. So I would recommend, like for this one, you want to target to people beyond your database. You want to target to people within this general area of this ad. So I'm just going to use, I'm going to turn off custom settings completely and just keep this to within 20 miles of Murfreesboro. So I know that was a mouthful. So if you guys are ever creating ads and you have questions about this, please, please, please reach out to us and we'd be happy to explain that a little further. But this all looks good to me. I'm going to click Save Facebook Ad, and that section is now complete. The last thing is my duration and budget. They recommend a 10-day campaign for $1 a day. That's, I believe the minimum is that as well. The minimum is $1 a day. You can choose the duration here. And then your campaign budget. This is running for $3 a day. I believe the minimum is $1 a day, so I'll just change my total campaign budget to $10. And that looks good to go. So I will save that. Now all of my ad pieces are ready to go. I can see a preview of my ad over here on the right. And now I can choose to either publish the campaign. This will start running on that day we selected, or I'm just going to go ahead. I'll save this as a draft for now. All right, so once that starts running, I will be able to see some of the metrics on that, basically how well it's doing, how many clicks we're getting, and how much of our budget we have spent. So that's a little bit about the social campaigns. We are getting toward the end of class today, but I do want to point out just a couple more things. You do also have this direct mail section in here. These are similar to farming postcards in Command, so you can actually send out postcards to a specific neighborhood in Command. And I'll just give you a little sneak preview of that. You would click Create a New Campaign and then Direct Mail. Again, it's going to ask you this information. I'll choose Advertise a Listing and I'll just say Test. You can use their default templates. They do have some postcard templates provided for you, or you can upload a custom postcard. Again, all these steps are very similar, so I'll just choose my listing here. And there we go. You can see it plugged in, all of my listing details. You can choose what type of postcard you would like to use, edit that postcard further. And then again, you would basically go through and choose who you're targeting, what you're spending, all of those elements. So I'm not going to run through this whole process, but I did want to give you a little sneak peek of that. I'm going to go back to my campaigns. The last thing I want to show you before we wrap up today are the emails. So this section is down at the moment, but you do also have the option to send out email campaigns through Command. So this is different than the smart plans. I would say the smart plans are more similar to a true campaign where it's a scheduled series of events. This campaign section is more like a one-time mass email that you would send out to your database. So you can see if you had any email campaigns currently set up, they would display below. You'd be able to see some more metrics on that. But to create a new campaign, again, we're going to click Create a New Campaign up at the top right, and then choose Email. Oops, got a question. No, so the email campaigns are, again, one of the free campaigns. So email campaigns, emails and post scheduling are free. And then the paid ads and the direct mail are the paid campaigns. So like I said, this section, they are currently working on revising this right now and making it more user-friendly and just giving you more options. But I want to show you at least kind of what this looks like. So I'll do a test, email, I want to advertise my listing again. And then it's going to ask at the bottom where you'd like your campaign to run. We can choose either command email or MailChimp. So it's sort of your preference. Before, you only had the option for MailChimp, which meant your database had to be in MailChimp as well. I'm going to choose command email. This means I can send emails to people who are currently in my command database. And I will choose setup campaign. So again, we're going to work on these items on the left to build our email on the right. We will have the options to either save as a draft, schedule this for the future. You can send a test email to yourself, or we'd be able to preview the email. Over here on the left, you can see this is the name of my campaign, and then we're sending it via campaign email or command email. It'll ask which account, which this is the account already chosen for my command email. You would have to choose a list or create an email list to send out these email campaigns. You can actually do that directly from here. So these are email lists that I created previously. I can either edit these lists or create a new list. So basically, this is going to pull up your entire database in command. And you can choose to create a new list. So I'll just say test list 8. What is the date today? Is it the 27th? And I can select which contacts I would like to add to my list. I can search for contacts by name, email, or neighborhood. So if you're targeting a specific neighborhood, you can actually send an email to them directly. Or by tags, I'll just go ahead and select everybody right now and confirm. So that just created a list. So in order to send out to your database in command, they would have to be in a list. But if you haven't done this ahead of time, you can go ahead and create that list here. Who the sender is, this is pulling from your command email. So it's putting in that sender name and reply to that we did at the beginning of class in our applications. But you can edit this if you need to, if you want to change the name or the email. Subject, again, I'm going to do something like just listed in Murfreesboro. And then content. So I'm going to select design content for my email. So like I said, they are currently working on this. In order to send out an email campaign through command, you would have to go into designs where we were previously and create the email piece first. At the moment, there's not a button up here that says create new. So these are all of my email pieces I created in the past, but at the moment I went in earlier today and tried to create a new email piece and it was currently down. But I know they were just making changes to that yesterday. So just keep checking back. They're making it much easier to create email pieces in command. You do have a couple templates at this time. So if you're wanting to create a newsletter, you can use one of these templates. These do have to be manually created. They're not going to automatically plug in information for you. If you had done the newsletters in eEdge previously, they were kind of like a general this month in real estate newsletter. These are completely blank slates. So these are a good template option, but these unfortunately are the only two options for templates at this time. Otherwise, you would need to create a template from designs, which unfortunately is down at the moment. Just for the purpose of this class, I'm just going to choose a newsletter. And I'm going to just plug in a little bit of information really quickly, just so you can see what it's going to look like. Oh, and let's see. Like I said, I'm just going to run through this really quick, just so you can see a general idea of what this is going to look like. And I'm going to just plug in some stock photos. Oh, and looks like my stock photo is too big. you can see it's basically same sort of thing as before. We're building this information on the right now to add to our newsletter on the left. So you can see it plugged in all of our information from our marketing profile. So our contact info, our website address, app URL, this is all pulling from that marketing profile at the beginning of class. But of course, you can update this. Looks like a license number is required. And then you do have to have something in each of these sections. So you can see each section is actually required. And I want to just apply this really quick, but it's making me add in all the fields. I just wanted to give you guys a quick preview, but it doesn't look like it's going to be too quick. So I'm just going to run through this really quick. I just want you guys to see it. There we go. Let me just add in those photos. So again, these are required if you are adding in a newsletter. Each section is required. You can't edit this template just yet, but they are working on revising this email section, so you would be able to create just a totally custom email template very soon, we're hoping. So this is my newsletter. Again, I just answered these questions over on the right to build my newsletter on the left. And I'm just going to click apply. Okay. I just wanted to get that in there real quick so you guys could see it. So I would be able to see a preview of my email over here on the right. It's sending to my list over here on the left. And you can choose to schedule this for the future, send a test email to yourself. If you click preview, you can actually see what this is going to look like on different screens. Or you can choose to send now. So coming soon, we would be able to actually go into designs and say we made a flyer in designs. We would actually be able to add that flyer into the body of an email here in a custom email and build that from the ground up. But right now, at this very moment, you basically just have these two newsletter templates. Yeah, of course. Great questions. Drip email templates not available at this moment. So if you're looking for more of like a drip option, you're going to want to check out the smart plans. So those are going to be more similar to a true campaign. Those will be like scheduled things. So you can set up a smart plan that will be multiple emails going out in a series. Right now, there are only a limited amount of smart plans, but we've heard after Mega Camp, they're going to be releasing more smart plan templates. So we're really hoping for that. But that's going to be more similar to like an actual drip campaign if you're looking for that. And then for this person looking for the recording, yes, I will be recording this. This will be on our YouTube page later today. So, and on our website. So I'll point out slmtraining.com. That's where you can find all of our previous training classes. And then youtube.com/ScottLeroy You can actually find all of our classes there as well and search for further classes, different classes, and shorter training videos. So I believe we have a shorter video just on creating a newsletter. I know I had to run through this really quick because it's the end of class, but if you are looking to create a newsletter in Command, we should have a video on that. I'm just going to go ahead and save this as a draft while we wrap up today. Like I said, they are working on this email section to make it more user-friendly and give you more options. So you will be able to create a custom email and send out, say, a flyer to your database soon. That is just temporarily down today. So thank you guys for watching my class today. I'm going to go ahead and pull up our contact information. This is being recorded and will be on our YouTube page and our website later today. But if I wasn't able to answer any of your questions or you just need further assistance, please feel free to reach out to us. Our phone number and email are displayed here. Thank you guys again. If there's anything else you need, let us know. If not, I hope you have a great day.